are fighting the dissonance of division. We are fighting the noise of modern life. We are fighting the silence of indifference and apathy.
It never occurred to me when I was studying music at university that I could one day find myself fighting hackers from Russia. Why would a small YouTube channel with 1,200 subscribers be a target? As it turns out, channels with millions of subscribers have fallen to these hackers.
This happens to be a mass YouTube hack that is being run by scammers out of Russia. Many large YouTubers from McCreamy to Castro1021 and even just yesterday Tom Nash have had their accounts hacked.
Small channels too, with only a few hundred subscribers, have also been targeted. This is the story of how my YouTube channel was hacked nearly a year ago. If you are watching this, maybe your YouTube channel has been hacked. So I will tell you how I solved my problem. It didn't seem easy, and some people never get their channels back. However, if you are focused, you probably can, and I will tell you how I did. I will also share the security steps I took so that this can never happen again. On Sunday, September 22nd, 2024, at 12:30 p.m., my personal Gmail was hacked. I was momentarily confused why I could not sign into my email. No later than 12:35 p.m., all my backup recovery settings had been disabled, including cell phone two-factor verification. There was no longer any way to access my email. All the fail-safes had been disabled. Two-factor verification, which had been on, was bypassed. I had just finished a beautiful morning trail run with some friends, and I had come home. I was getting excited to do a little video editing, putting together a bit captured with my GoPro Max, a 360 camera, stuff I had done at the Edmonton Fringe Festival. I was looking to assemble it into something to put on YouTube, and then I got to watch myself be hacked in real time. Very quickly, the real target became apparent. I watched in horror with surprise and fascination as my YouTube channel was rebranded to Tesla US, and seemingly all my videos disappeared, and in its place, Tesla videos started appearing. It took me quite some time to figure out how to respond. How do you contact Google? How do you contact YouTube for a hacker attack? It wasn't immediately easy to figure out. By 2:30 p.m., the takeover of my YouTube channel was complete. There was nothing left that looked like the original channel. Then came the real move of the hackers. Start a live stream. The clickbait title: Live! President Donald Trump and Elon Musk in Charlotte, NC. Exclusive town hall. In this first live stream, they are getting 66,000 viewers at once. I have never had 66,000 people watching me on YouTube or any platform at once. By 5:30 p.m., my YouTube channel gets shut down. There is an email to my alternate email address, which says, "Hi, Sticks and Stone. We have reviewed your content and found severe or repeated violations of our harmful and dangerous policy. Because of this, we have removed your channel from YouTube. We know this is probably very upsetting news, but it is our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. If we think a channel severely violates our policies, we take it down to protect other users on the platform. But if you believe we've made the wrong call, you can appeal this decision. Some things this might include are content that promotes illegal activities like hacking or phishing is not allowed." So eventually I did find a way to talk to people from Google. Now, if you go see other videos similar, people who've been hacked, actually most of those people found a different answer than I did. But it's really not immediately obvious. Google and YouTube, these are really big, multifaceted companies, and how do you contact them, and how do you even find the right person who understands what the problem is and what you're talking about? So the answer to figure out who to contact, how to contact, that most people said on YouTube videos was actually, surprisingly, to use Twitter or X. So if you make a post and then tag at Team YouTube on Twitter or X, that seemed to be the thing that most people did. And I actually think that could work. I don't know if it's as easy as some other things, but it seems to have worked for other people to start the ball rolling, to find the right people to talk to. So I had 3 Gmail accounts. My personal one, which actually was tied to my YouTube channel, that was the one I lost control of. But actually, one of my answers for finding people to talk to was a little bit surprising. Because I had an account which I really didn't send emails to anyone with, it was mainly used for Google Drive storage, so I was paying for a little bit of Google Drive storage for some video editing things, and for a period of time I was sending some of my videos to be edited to someone somewhere else. Because I was paying for the smallest amount of Google Drive storage, so that's 200 gigabytes, I was a Google One customer. So as a Google One customer, there was actually a phone number I could call, and there were people I could talk to. Although that chain of emails that start from that, I don't know if it was as helpful as other things. The immediate people you talk to are a little bit more generalist, not specific to this problem. Anyways, if you are not a paying Google customer, if you don't have Google One, then you might look through these Google help pages, and there's forums, and a lot of people say you can post on these forums. Supposedly people get back and respond, people from Google. I'm not sure. What I found is if I looked at the exact same page on the internet, if I was signed into my One account anyways, where I was not a paying customer, then I had the forums and just the help pages. But if I looked at the exact same page, then signed in where I was a paying customer, it would look a little bit different. There would be, at the end of the form, at the end of a page, a thing that said, contact Google, or contact Google support. Anyways, by 6 p.m. on that day, September 22nd, when I had been hacked at 12:30 p.m., I had definitely figured out the way to call people from Google. I guess 6 hours later, what am I doing? How do I respond? And I had talked to someone. So I have records of follow-up text conversations from around 7 p.m. So here's the real hacker scheme. They get these really far-reaching live streams going. They're reaching around the whole world, and it's Elon Musk, or repurposed video footage of Elon Musk. Some people might think it might be an AI version of Elon Musk talking. I actually think the video footage they took is really Elon Musk at a real event talking about cryptocurrency, why he thinks Bitcoin, why he thinks cryptocurrency is important. So I think it's real footage, just repurposed. So they've got this live stream going. Now here's the scheme, here's the scam. So in this side chat sidebar, it says, click here and we will double your cryptocurrency, or we'll double your Bitcoin. So if you click on that and you follow through and you do all the things they suggest and tell you, they're gonna take your cryptocurrency. So that's the scheme. The scheme is have a really far-reaching, wide audience around the world, get all this attention, and then convince people to give their cryptocurrency, telling them they're going to make a lot more money from this. But of course, if those people do give cryptocurrency to, well, the hackers, you've just lost all your crypto, you've lost all your money. So you might think, like, this sounds crazy, this is ridiculous, who's gonna fall for that? This is some sort of sci-fi, far-fetched thing. When I had told all of 10 people about this weird hacking experience I had, one of those people was a guy who was working on the furnace in my house, and he said, oh yeah, I have a friend who lost $20,000 in this kind of scheme. Okay, so 1 out of the 10 people I've told this to knows someone who lost $20,000 this way. Okay, so if there's a live stream that's reaching around the world and it can reach 66,000 people, you only need one person to fall for it. So you can see how this could be a highly lucrative thing for the hackers. So these live streams that have been instigated by these hackers, I find it fascinating. I was even able to find people in other parts of the world who saw this happening could see there's some sort of scam, but didn't really understand every part of what was going on. And they're making YouTube videos about it, talking about how YouTube screwed up. And I can find these and see, they see it from the outside, and I'm the victim of this right now, or a victim. I mean, my YouTube account has been stolen.
I've never seen YouTube screw up in this specific way before, that they would let this happen. So I was doing a little bit of work on my computer the other night, and then, as I do, once I've wrapped that, I like to unwind, go on YouTube, look at some pointless whatever, or something interesting. And as soon as I went on, in the main search function, trending at the very top of the page was several live streams sent out from Tesla with Elon Musk giving a live presentation. I was like, that's odd. I didn't know anything in the news about a presentation coming up soon. So I clicked on the link and went to the live stream that was happening, and there was Elon in front of you. He was talking to you, he's moving around the stage, he's telling you what to do, and it was very clear to me that this was a deep fake of his face, it was a deep fake of his voice, and these videos were being put to the very top of the YouTube algorithm. So somehow YouTube allowed these people hacked whatever it takes to get these premiered at the very top. So thousands of people were watching these videos. When I went in and I saw what the deep fake voice and likeness of Elon was saying, it was the typical, if you go and scan this QR code that's going to show up on the screen in the next 2 minutes or so, then you should be connected to our Ethereum or Bitcoin wallet, and whatever cryptocurrency that you deposit into our wallets, we're going to match for you, whatever. So this is obviously fake. It might be fake to you, it might be obvious to me or whatever, but not to the many thousands of people that checked that out. So that's brutal. The fact that this thing managed to search, like, I've never been at the top of search. How did these goons get to the top of search, and how did YouTube allow that to happen is beyond me.
I mean, at least I haven't lost any money, which is good, and that's actually one of the first things I did. So I did cancel my credit cards just in case, and I did file a fraud report. I mean, nothing came from that fraud report. It didn't really do anything useful to file a fraud report. So I was also able to find people who on YouTube had identified what this scam was, kind of had seen a bigger picture. So
right now on YouTube, there is nefarious scam that has been ongoing for over a year, which has ruined the careers of YouTubers and stolen in excess of $300 million in cryptocurrency. Now, that scam I'm referring to has been known by a few different names, as the scammers change their tactics to stay ahead of attempts by YouTube to shut them down. Right now, they are trying to pass themselves off as the Tesla company running live streams across YouTube. As of the time of filming, there are currently 2 hacked accounts running the same live stream scam, attempting to steal cryptocurrency from viewers. The scammers constantly make tweaks to the live stream to confuse anyone who catches on to the scam. Months ago, another channel did a video on this same scam, but they were going by the name ARK Invest at the time. With recent events regarding Twitter and Elon Musk, they have shifted to calling themselves Tesla in all their hacked accounts, and title all their videos like this is a live stream where Elon Musk is talking about his departure as Twitter CEO.
they say it's been going on for over a year. Well, I actually think probably longer than that from things I discovered. And they say from that year, it's stolen in excess of $300 million in cryptocurrency. Yeah, it's really hard to say what the real number is. Anyways, posing as Elon Musk, posing as Tesla, that has been one part of the scam. They might be posing as other people right now, and the hackers keep changing what they are doing a little bit to stay ahead of the game, to stay ahead of detection. The people from this other video here, they think that maybe YouTube could do more to crack down on this. Maybe there's some way of instantly detecting when live streams are replayed. Maybe. I also think it might be possible that the hackers can keep adapting what they're doing a little bit all the time. If the hackers just keep adapting just a bit, changing what they're doing, they might be able to stay ahead of the game. They might be able to avoid being detected. There might not be a way for YouTube to shut this down. Also, if you're reporting this to authorities, well, we don't know where in the world these hackers are from. The information that I can see from my personal back end here, and what also this one YouTube video they say, it seems like there's a hacker organization from Russia or maybe Belarus or that part of the world where it would be very difficult for anyone from this part of the world to do anything. But also, I think there's ways of faking that on the internet with VPNs and other stuff, so who knows where they're actually from. It is possible this kind of hacking scheme might always exist. It might always be lucrative for these hackers. There might not be a way for it to be shut down. Anyways, when I was hacked on Sunday, September 22nd, it took me what seemed like a very long time to figure out how to respond, what to do, even how to find the right people to tell me the right steps. So I started communication over and over in different ways with Google and YouTube, and it might have been redundant because I was just distressed. It at some point became apparent to me that the different tickets I opened from Google or YouTube, the people weren't necessarily talking to each other. I had called multiple times, I had started multiple chats, I emailed. So in my initial problem here of being hacked and how do you go back and how do you recover your account when all your backup information is changed, I hit a lot of roadblocks and a lot of dead ends. So my solution involved finding the Google hacked account form. However, it involved finding this form logged in with my account where I was paying for Google Drive. You might find a way to get to the same point by contacting the people at Team YouTube on Twitter. I'm not sure. Anyways, really key to this process is you have to get to a point where you are giving your channel URL in a form. So you fill out a form and your channel URL, which has a lot of random characters, that is there in the form. So if you're filling out some other form that does not have this channel URL, you're probably going to keep hitting the same roadblocks that I kept hitting for three and a half days. So what I had found frustrating is that Google employees had kept telling me to fill out this account recovery form, but part of the regular account recovery form assumes that your backup phone number still works, which of course that's one of the first things the hackers do. They just remove the backup phone number. So the backup doesn't work because they just turn it off. So the regular account recovery forms, the regular account recovery process, if somehow you've got locked out of your account, if you've forgotten your password, that's not going to work when the hackers have bypassed all the backups. So when you fill out the form that has the URL for your channel though, you might get to something different. So there is a special recovery form. So not the regular account recovery form, there is a special account recovery form, and there might be a few other security things with that. And it's not quite as easy to get to. Otherwise, if it were quite as easy to get to, if you didn't have to have some proof and some other things where they're double checking, it would be easier to break into people's accounts, right? So that is why it's harder to get to, why you might spend three and a half days in frustration trying to get back in, because it should not be easy to just get into someone's account. There has to be a few other things. So once you followed up with a Google employee, maybe traded a couple messages, and gone through the special account recovery form, that is the path to regaining your Gmail, to regaining your YouTube channel. At least that's what it was for me in September, October 2024. So for me, 4 days later, on September 26th, I regained access to my personal Gmail, which was the path back to recovering my YouTube channel. So for me, when I regained access to my YouTube channel, I found that the videos were all still there. They were just set to private, which seems to be a recurring story. I've heard this from a number of people. So at least this particular hacker group, they didn't really seem interested in deleting the videos. So if your YouTube channel has been hacked, some hope your videos might still be there. Oh, how nice of those hackers. They did not delete the videos. Okay. Well, some of the branding is off and some of the organization of the channel, and you just have to fix some of that stuff. But why would the hackers just not delete your videos? Are they just nice people? Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they really care about you, but I actually think it's a little bit more nefarious than that. So if the hackers do not delete your videos, if they're still there, they have given you hope. Yes, victory, you have recovered your account, which leaves an opening for them. An opening for them to attack you again. So once you have recovered your YouTube channel, if any security measure has been missed, the hackers might attack you again. So at that time, as I was watching video after video of people explaining, one person said, oh, well, they had actually been attacked again 4 months later. My second attack came a lot sooner than that. So the next attack on me, my email, my YouTube channel came 2 days later. So on Friday the 27th, I had recovered everything from my email, from my YouTube channel. Everything was restored back. And then the next attack came on Sunday the 29th. And again, surprisingly, I was in a place where I was able to watch this happen in real time. So this time, instead of there being one live stream on my channel, there was 3 live streams totaling up to around 100,000 people watching my channel at one time. So I guess even if I don't have like a huge subscriber amount, I guess my channel had been around for a while. There's enough things that give it some authority, and just using that as the base plus these attention grabbing tactics is enough for the hackers to be able to take a small YouTube channel of 1,200 subscribers and then use it to reach a dumb huge amount of people, 100,000 people. Surprising to me. So the attacks this time, the second time around, began at 8:40 p.m. So this time I knew much more what to do, and I kind of intercepted the attacks, and I was able to remove the live stream, but I did take a little bit of time guiltily. I did take all my videos at that time, which I should have done earlier, and I saved them to a portable hard drive. So I just didn't want to lose all of my work of years and years and years. So this would be a devastating loss of intellectual property and effort that took a ridiculous amount of time. So I saved them before I shut everything down. So guilty me. A better person than me might shut down the attacks first, but I was worried what the hackers might be doing or what the interaction was. It was in my head in a weird way. So as I read my notes that I took shortly after, maybe comparing against emails, it looks like I had regained access to my YouTube channel by 10:37 p.m. So 1 hour and 57 minutes later, after being locked out, I found the way of getting back in. Right now I'm not sure, I'd have to double check. That might have been with recovery email. I had restored everything, restored my channel back to the way it should have been by 11:21 p.m. So I had a much quicker turnaround time this time. So in 2 hours and 40 minutes on my second attack here, I found the way to back things up and shut things down and seemingly solve the attacker problem on my own. Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes versus like the first time it's like 6.5 hours before I even know who to contact. However, even though I've supposedly kicked out the hackers and done this stuff, by 12:07 a.m. my channel gets auto shut down again by Google. Looks kind of like my channel has been deleted. What ends up happening here is it looks like your channel's deleted, but it's just kind of shut down by Google, shut down by YouTube for the good of the community. So it was for me recovered. It can probably be recovered for you. So how How did the hackers get in the second time? I'm not completely sure. It looks like I had missed changing my password to one of these 3 email accounts. However, I don't think that email account actually had access to the YouTube channel, so I don't think that was it. And that becomes a thing in this process. Did you change your password? Did you change your password to everything? Like, did you actually change your password to everything? More about that in a little bit with security stuff. I actually think in this case, probably what happened is there's this backdoor place within YouTube where there's channel permissions, and likely a channel permission was given to this other email address here, which I didn't realize there was that part in YouTube, but you have to check the channel permissions and make sure that within YouTube you haven't given permission to another email address that is not yours to do things on your YouTube channel. After this attack on Sunday, September 29th, I have everything restored by the evening of Monday, September 30th. Everything looks good. I've double checked the things in these conversations with Google people by email. Oh, and funny, like they never say their name, they never sign off with any contact info. They're very careful on how they respond, and of course they should be, because, you know, if there's these hacker attacks going on, like, they don't want to expose themselves to whatever potential is there. September 30th, everything looks good. I've done all the steps they say to have done. In some paranoia here, I think by that point I've formatted my computer, removed everything that could have been on there, and, you know, gone further in the password changing thing, double checked. So October 1st, Tuesday, I'm driving home after a day of teaching. I kind of, at a red light, glanced down at my phone and I realized that I'm under attack again. So it's 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. I get home and then I start dealing with it once I'm at home. So at that point I'm pretty confused. How did this happen? I feel like I've done every single step. I've changed all my passwords. I formatted and rebooted my computer. Advanced security within the Google settings within Gmail, that is turned on now. So at that point, there's a new investigation, and this investigation is passed on to another Google YouTube team. And now at that point, I'm given a new ticket number. So they give you a ticket number whenever there's an email exchange or investigation. I realized in my initial thing where I talked to too many people, once I found the right path, I would say referencing this ticket number so you know the people to talk to within Google. So I am pretty confused at that point. Like, it seems like I've done all the security things they've said. Retrospectively, I also think maybe if you've changed all your passwords, but you have a second in between, you know, maybe they can go from one to the other. So sometimes it's like, oh, change all your passwords. Change all your passwords again. Probably the original way in is where you have these saved cookies that allow you to get into your email so you don't have to type your password every time. Well, when the hackers, they do some sort of probably phishing scam. There's a number of different ways and you've got to be careful. They've installed some sort of malware on your computer, and from that they're able to just copy these cookies and just open the door without even knowing what your password is. So that's probably what happened the first time. And, you know, you delete all your cookies and change your passwords and everything else. Third time where I was really confused, I did sort of like post privately on social media, and someone had showed me this thing where, well, apparently phones can have their text messages hijacked. So our phone text messages are not necessarily secure. Our phone system is not necessarily secure in many different ways. Like, here's a little bit from a video about this.
This is Linus from Linus Tech Tips, and we hacked the phone network in order to spy on him.
That's pretty messed up, Derek. I slept easier not knowing that.
We intercepted his phone calls and stole his two-factor passcodes.
Is that your number, Linus?
Yeah, but mine didn't even ring.
We didn't touch his phone, we didn't send him an email or a text, nothing. We did it all remotely. And the worst part is, it could happen to you.
But one of the things I ended up doing out of paranoia at this point is I just got a new SIM card for my phone. I reformatted my phone, so deleted everything, reinstalled. But then I also bought a new SIM card, which is another $10, got rid of the old one. But when you're getting paranoid about all the ways someone could break in, like That's one of the steps. Get rid of your SIM card. Some people who are really paranoid might even say get a new phone number, although, as someone who needs to be contacted for business type things, like I need my phone number public, it's probably an extra layer of security if you can have a private phone number. But if you're acting in any kind of business way, like you want people to be able to call you. The other thing I was starting to scratch my head about is like, why is this hacker always attacking me when I'm awake in normal hours? I mean, they could be doing things on whatever time for whatever reasons, but a part of me kind of wondered, the behavior feels like it's within my time zone. It feels like, why are all these attacks happening when I'm likely to be awake? Like, why not just do an attack when I'm sleeping? There's no way to really know about that. That's just speculation. I don't know, maybe hackers work at night in Russia when everyone else is sleeping in Russia. They may or may not even be from Russia. Anyways, after I changed my passwords and then changed my passwords again, after that third time, the hackers were never able to get in again. They never did an attack again. The third time got shut down really quite quick. The third time I completely shut down myself. So as soon as I got home, I knew where to look for the things, and sure enough, I found some new emails added to the permissions in my YouTube, and I just kicked them out. So I was able to do that, and I was able to shut down the attack even before the stream happened. So the live stream, there was a countdown to the live stream, countdown timer going. I shut it down before the live stream started. So the third live stream never even started. They never even got to initiate their attack. So I was pretty fast on that one. Changing all my passwords twice again. They never got in again, but it wasn't completely verified here. So I think there's bits in the story where like I might know how they got in, but I'm not 100% certain how they got in the third time. And then after that point, out of paranoia, I just added layer and layer and layer and layer of security. Some of those things are things I should have done long before. There are some things that probably everyone should do for their internet security, because you could have some nightmare situation like this. So I hadn't made as thorough notes on this third attack here, but it's possible there was a previous login through email where the device was still accepted despite the passwords being changed. That's the one thing I can think of now, 11 months later. I look at this and there's this place in the security tab in your Gmail where you can see if there's a device logged in or if there has been a login recently. I mean, the Google employees can't tell me and they can only speculate, but thinking about it after the fact, it is possible that I had not done the thing to kick out other devices from this security tab function in the back end of Gmail. So anyone with a Gmail account, you should definitely look at the security tab and see if there's any devices you don't recognize there, because that can be a little bit scary. So probably the creepiest thing about this is there's evidence that I had been hacked into, broken into 3 years and 9 months before a move was made. So it looks like hackers from supposedly Russia or Belarus had broken into at least 2 of my email accounts here in December 2020 and seemingly did nothing for 3 years and 9 months. So maybe just waiting until it seemed like there was an opportunity. Maybe they could see my YouTube channel, but it was too small. Or maybe they broke in, got kicked out with a password change, broken again. Really quite creepy. So you should look at this security tab. I highly recommend that. So if you have been hacked, here are the things I recommend doing. So here are the levels of security I added so that this could never happen to me again. This was really painful. I mean, I thought I might have lost all this video work, parts of my life where I can't go back to those parts of my life. Videos, music videos made with friends who don't even live in the city anymore, and it would have been irreplaceable. So if I had lost all this, this would have been devastating, and it was painful enough that I just thought, this can never happen again. I have to be more cautious. I was lackadaisical in my security here, but I've got to be better. That would have hurt me a lot if I lost all that video, but also it could be levels worse. So at the time, I had a roommate who was working at Best Buy. He did tech things there, and he gave me some advice with some things, but when he saw what I was going through, he said, "Oh man, I've never seen anything quite like that." It was a bit extreme, but something he had seen. He had helped out a guy working in real estate who had been hacked. This person had gone for security advice. This guy in real estate had had $500,000 stolen from a bank account. So security is important. I think if you put yourself out more publicly, like a musician, if you have a YouTube channel, or if you have some sort of social media with some sort of following, that can make you a target. Some part of this is a monetary thing, so sometimes hackers will try and take money. So you should probably take some steps to be secure. I've taken a number of steps. You might consider doing some of the things I've done here. Okay, step number 1. If someone's hacked into you and you're having this kind of thing happening, might be worth going nuclear. So delete everything from your computer, format the computer, take everything off. You can back up some stuff. I mean, you got to be careful, but everything has to go through a virus scan for sure. Oh yeah, that's step number 2. So I did format my computer, and I did format my phone, and I did change all the passwords to everything. Of course, everyone will tell you that's like the obvious thing. You change all the passwords, and then you change them again if you need to. And did you actually change every password? I mean, there's your email, but like maybe you should change the password to your computer. Maybe you should change the password to your phone. Okay, well, that's a lot of different passwords. Do you use the same password for everything? Have you not changed your password in a long time? So I guiltily used one password for everything, and I had not changed that password in a long time. That's kind of dumb. It seems obvious in retrospect. It was not an easy password. It was a difficult password with letters and symbols and numbers and stuff, but I had not changed that password in a long time, and I was using it for everything. I don't do that anymore, so that's not good enough, but it is difficult. How do you remember all these different passwords? Step number 2, you should have an antivirus program. Okay, this seems obvious, but a lot of people don't. I've talked to a lot of people who don't. Oh, you know, it's not gonna happen to me. It never happens to you until it's happening to you, and then it really sucks. I did have an antivirus program, I was using it, and then I thought, man, nothing bad has ever happened. It doesn't really seem like this could be an issue, until it was. So I think if I had had an antivirus program, it likely could have blocked many of the ways this attack could have happened. I had paid for one in the past, and then I didn't want to keep paying for one, and this happened. And now I've got an antivirus program again. Obvious thing, have an antivirus program, non-negotiable. Okay, here's my third thing. Not everyone is going to do this, but I've got this thing. It's on my keychain. I've got a couple backups in other places. This is called a YubiKey. It is one type of security key. So these security keys are really powerful. You can look them up. My email cannot be opened on a new computer now without this inserted. And then when you insert this, you have to type a password and you have to press the button. So even if people could copy things and stuff, there's this physical device, so you can't just copy a session with this. For it to be activated, for this to work, the USB has to be inserted, the button has to be pressed, and the password has to be typed, and this has to be sent through the computer this way. So I'd spent a lot of time looking up all the details of this. I don't remember all the science of it anymore, but this is probably one of the most secure things. If you want one extra layer of paranoia, you can get biometric on that button, so it could require your thumbprint, but I don't think that's really necessary. What are the odds you're gonna lose your keys? How often do you lose your keys? Okay, if someone finds your keys, are they gonna know what they're keys to? If they know what they're a key to, does that person know your password as well when you type it in? I think that is one of the most secure things. I think it is highly improbable that a hacker could get around that. It's not even on your device. There's no way you can get any sort of malware on that. The fourth thing here, fourth security thing, get a password manager. Just do it. I did not have a password manager, and I've heard heard about it. I'm like, oh, what do you need this for? And security. I don't think most people have password managers, but if you're not using the same password for everything, which you should not do, because then that's the key to everything when the hackers have figured out your password, or could be, and could be a keystroke logger or different ways. So you should have a different password for everything, and they should be difficult passwords that are hard to crack. Because of the power of computers right now, it becomes easier to crack passwords than in the past. So initially, when I was hacked and I did change the password, I would have a password for each different thing, but I didn't have a password manager. I did not want to pay for a password manager. So I made a little note in my phone where I didn't quite say the whole password, just in case somehow that can be hacked too, but I had hints at the password and hints at what they were related to. But I had so many different passwords for so many different things. I actually got confused and I forgot my passwords for things, and I forgot what I was tracking, and I got mixed up. A password manager is better. So you have one relatively good password that you can remember for your password manager, and then you have your password manager generate and save passwords for everything else. So only remember one password. Right now, I only remember the password to the password manager. Everything else is just this series of letters and numbers that there's no way I could remember, but it's really difficult for a hacker to break into. So now I'm using NordPass as my password manager. You can debate what's better for one thing or another and research yourself to death. I just decided, after looking at the information myself, when I considered what it could do and how it signs in, supporting that security key and biometrics and things like that, I just thought, considering all that and the price to NordPass, to me just seemed like the best deal. You might come to a different conclusion and maybe some of that information changes. I'm using NordPass now to keep track of all these passwords, which I think probably helps my security a lot. So number 5, check your email security settings every now and then. So again, Gmail, that tab, go look at it. Are there devices logged in that you might not recognize? Is there any indication that someone may have logged into your account from Russia? Okay, number 6, if you have Gmail, or many of these other things have that too now, is turn on whatever form of advanced protection there is. Number 7, get a new SIM card for your phone, because text messages can be intercepted and hacked. Okay, for the YouTube channel specifically, and if you're not a public business, maybe you do it for your phone or change your email, change your phone, but for the YouTube channel specifically, hide the ownership of the channel. Bury it. That's just a thing I thought of. It makes a lot of sense. I haven't specifically seen other people do this, but my YouTube channel, its ownership was tied to an email address that I sent a lot of emails from, my personal email address. That's no good. You might consider changing where your YouTube account is managed from and where it's owned. So I'm going to tell you, even though there might be some management of my channel in a more public-ish way, the ownership, the ultimate power of it, the ability to kick out managers from the channel is on a different email address now. So I created a new Gmail that I basically never sign into. So this new Gmail account that is the owner of my YouTube channel is hidden. It is an address that never contacts anyone, that never does anything else, that is very difficult to enter, and the only reason for entering this Gmail account is if I were to be hacked again, then maybe I might enter it to clear out the hackers. But because I never touched that account, there's no communication, there's no regular use of it. If there was another hacking attempt, there's no way they would have record that this account exists. This Gmail account that is tied to my YouTube channel has never sent an email and never does anything, but I can access it now if for some reason there is an attack, and it can reset and control everything. I might even forget where that channel is if I didn't have it written down somewhere, but so I have this buried, hidden email address tied to my YouTube channel, which is the failsafe I can go back to. It took me a little while to figure out how to set that up, but if everything else fails, I've made another failsafe beyond that now. Number 9 thing to do, improve your habits. Most internet security breaches come from human error. So Google was never able to tell me exactly how I was hacked. They may have made guesses. Likely it was some sort of phishing thing. Be careful on the links you click on. Even some obvious things like if someone's giving you a spammy kind of email and you click unsubscribe, it's possible an unsubscribe link could be a phishing link, a way of getting your information or putting on some sort of malware. So it's suggested that you click block, report as spam, don't unsubscribe. What's been reported here is that it's suspected a lot of these YouTube channel hacks come when someone is offered a sponsorship in some sort of way and there's some sort of file attached in your email and you click on the file to don't download the file. So if you're downloading some file from a stranger, even if it seems like an opportunity, that might be the malware. That is the way they hack into you. Number 10, what I've gone with, I no longer use Google Chrome. So you can go look at the different browsers and people doing reviews. Some people think Google Chrome is just the spyware tier of browsers, the Microsoft Edge not being any better. The browser I've chosen to use now after a little bit of research is the Brave browser. The Brave browser blocks all sorts of trackers that can be put on you. It blocks ads. Actually, a lot of the internet experience is a lot better, I found, just having this browser because I don't see all these annoying ads I don't want to see in a lot of places. Yeah, Brave browser, it's pretty good. The 11th possible security thing I might consider is using a VPN. A VPN kind of creates this tunnel where your information is encrypted and people can't see its original source when it comes out on the other side. I've got Bitdefender as my antivirus software right now, and you can get a VPN through that. So I tried the Bitdefender VPN. I didn't really like it. Maybe a different VPN might be different, but the thing is, this tunnel where you are sort of masking your original source, you know who else does that? Hackers do that. So a lot of these websites, like if you're gonna watch some streaming thing on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or whatever, they will immediately say, oh, it looks like you're using a VPN. You can't use our site until you turn it off. So whether it's something like that or other sites, I just found I was turning on my VPN, turning off my VPN, turning on my VPN, turning off my VPN. So I found I didn't like it. It might add an extra layer of security, which might be good. Other people will say if you're in a public place, always use a VPN. I don't know. I don't personally like the VPN step, or at least not with the Bitdefender VPN, because you just have to keep turning it on and off and on and off, and remembering to do that all the time because other people don't want to be hacked or something else. Although you might be protecting your security, I mean, you also kind of look like someone who's trying to skirt around the system. You might look like a hacker yourself by using it. So I'm not a huge fan of the VPN thing.